Across the state, Republicans secured victories in several races. No Democrat has won statewide office in Texas since 1994, and that record still stands. Pooja Salhotra with the Texas Tribune is here now to talk more about last night's results. Pooja, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
It seems every year we hear this idea of making Texas more competitive in elections, but last night that became seemingly a more distant possibility. What does the margin of victory look like after this latest election?
So the margin of victory for former President Donald Trump and President-elect Trump was much wider, I think, than folks might have anticipated. President Trump beat Vice President Kamala Harris by almost 14 percentage points in Texas, which is significantly higher than 4 years ago when he beat Biden by just about 5 points. And even compared to 2016, it's higher than that margin. And then when we look at the Senate race, which was also quite competitive, Senator Ted Cruz beat Representative Colin Allred by 8.7 points. So a fairly wide margin of victory there.
So you mentioned the presidency and the Senate race here in Texas, but what were some of the other races that stood out most to you when you looked at the results last night?
Yeah, so when we looked at the state legislature, there were a few seats that Republicans managed to flip down in South Texas, which is critical because Governor Greg Abbott has really targeted some of those seats as he has launched an effort to pass a school voucher initiative, a school voucher program. And he tried last session, did not have enough votes, but by flipping those handful of seats down in South Texas, he seems to have that majority in the House that he needs to pass that program, which would essentially use taxpayer dollars to allow parents to send their kids to private schools or use that money for homeschooling. And that's been a huge priority of his. So those were definitely two races. There was only one Senate competitive race, and Senator Morgan LaMantia lost that race, so that also flipped to Republicans.
One more flip there. And there was also a rare chance for Texans to vote directly on abortion restrictions out of Amarillo. Talk to us about that proposal and what happened with the result.
Sure. So Amarillo voters had a chance to vote on this ordinance that would have made it illegal for people to use roads in Amarillo to travel to obtain an out-of-state abortion. And this has obviously come up after the overturning of Roe v. Wade made it almost all abortions in Texas illegal. And so this was kind of a Republican-led initiative to clamp down on folks who are traveling out of state. Amarillo voters rejected this proposal. It lost by about 20 points, and it comes after like a year-long debate in Amarillo over this issue. Some people there say it is not done, and they will try to get it on the ballot again in the future.
Very interesting. Well, we will leave our conversation there. Pooja Salhotra with the Texas Tribune. Thank you so much, and I hope you got some sleep after last night.
Thank you. Appreciate that.